Okay, our first film study takes us to Brandon Royval and Joshua Van. And let me tell you something, man. This fight, it lived up to every bit of the hype. At the time, Royval was the #1 ranked flyweight in the world. Joshua Van, he was ranked number 10. On paper, it looked like experience versus potential, but inside the octagon, it became a war. Two elite strikers, two high-level technicians, a battle of skill, composure, and pure will. Let's show the clip, man. Now, during the opening minute and 36 seconds, Joshua isn't chasing a knockout. He's doing something a lot of fans miss. He's walking Royval down. Royval is firing leg kicks. He's touching him with punches. He's staying busy, but Van isn't reacting emotionally. He's controlling the range. He's collecting information. He's downloading data, studying every movement Royval makes. Let's look at this clip right here. Look at the motion. Now watch what happens here. Van has steadily backed Royval towards the fence. Royval's heels are getting dangerously close to what fighters call the black line. That's, where bad things can happen, where bad things live, because your back is against the cage. Now, Van knows this, and Royval knows this. So Royval, he feels the pressure, and he decides he has to go. Now, freeze the frame right here. Now, Royval, he fires two quick left hands, but don't be fooled. Those punches aren't designed to land. They're bait. They're meant to distract Joshua, because the punch Royval really wanted to land is that right hand. Freeze frame, tight zone. Now look at this. Look at his stance. Look at Van's stance. He's not standing tall. He's not leaning forward. Most of his weight is sitting on that back leg. His head is already off the center line, and he's leaning back just enough to make Royval miss without wasting any movement. Now that's textbook positioning. Now let's play the clip. Now Royval, he commits. And as he drives in, throwing those two lefts, his right hand drops. Look at his right side. A huge lane appears. And Van sees this instantly. And so he gives a short pull and he slides back just enough, two small steps, not two big ones, two small steps, just to be right outside of Royval's punching range. Then he comes over the top with the left hook, beautiful left hook. Bang! Got him. Let's watch that again. Let's watch that again. Van sees it instantly, okay? He gives a short pull. He slides back just enough out of range, slips, then comes over the top with the left. Bang! Left hook. Got him. This isn't speed. This isn't luck. That's elite vision, elite fight positioning, elite timing, and a fighter who's already 2 moves ahead. But here's where Joshua Van separates himself from most fighters. He almost never throws one punch. He thinks in combinations. His fight IQ is so high, he's already planning punches 2 and 3 before the first lands. That left hook isn't the finish. It's the key that unlocks everything else. As soon as the hook lands, he immediately fires punches 2 and 3. Now watch his feet. Instead of standing in front of Royval and admiring his work, Joshua pivots off the center line while he's punching. That pivot does 2 things. First, it cuts off Royval's escape route. Second, it opens up a brand new angle for Joshua to continue attacking. Now, Royval can't fire back immediately because Joshua isn't standing where he was a split second ago. Royval has to find him. He has to find him again. He has to reset. Now, that's the difference between throwing combinations and throwing combinations with purpose. Every punch creates the next punch. Every step creates the next angle. Joshua Van isn't beating elite fighters with speed. He's beating them with preparation. Now, that's how Joshua defends. But what happens when he decides it's time to lead the dance? Now, watch this. Joshua doesn't just throw combinations because he feels like it. He earns them. He wants to feel things out. So first he establishes his range. He finds his range. Then he fires this front teep kick straight to Royval's body. Bang. Not to hurt him, but to get information. Now watch Royval. He flashes the right hand, almost inviting Joshua into a check hook. But Joshua sees this immediately. He notices Royval inching forward, but instead of waiting, he beats him to the spot. Let's do this in slow motion. Now watch Joshua's lead hand. See that parry? That tiny movement cleared Royval's guard just enough. Then double jab, straight right hand, and Joshua closes the distance behind every punch. That straight right hand lands flush, chin checks Royval, and forces him backwards. That's what impressed me most. Royval had success, but almost every big exchange, Joshua won. Now, it all started because Joshua created the first opening. He wasn't reacting, he was dictating. Elite offense is one thing, but every great fighter eventually gets tested. Let's see what happens when Joshua gets hit clean. Now, in round two, Royval, he starts finding his rhythm. Joshua lands a nice body kick, but this time he makes the mistake and he stands right in front of Royval, I guess to watch the paint dry. But Royval doesn't hesitate. He's an elite fighter. So, bang, straight left hand. Right down the pipe. Ping. It catches Joshua clean. Most young fighters would have backed straight up, covered up, or panicked. Joshua doesn't do that. His instinct is to answer. He immediately fires a jab. And Royval comes right back with a hot, fresh two-piece. A hard 1-2. Ping, ping. And catches Joshua. Again, those punches would have put a lot of flyweights on the canvas. No question. Joshua eats them. He regains his composure. He makes adjustments, and he keeps fighting. Now, that's something statistics never show. You can measure speed, you can measure power, but it's hard to measure a fighter's ability to stay calm after getting cracked. Joshua Van has that. Now let's answer another question. Everybody knows Joshua can strike, but what happens when an elite wrestler gets his hands on him? Tatsuro Taira came into the fight known as the superior wrestler. And to his credit, he did get Joshua down. But here's what stood out to me. He couldn't keep him down. Every time Taira thought he had control, Joshua found a way back to his feet. Now watch this. This is interesting. He looks like he just muscles up. Then something interesting happens. Joshua stopped reacting to the wrestling. He started initiating it, stuffing takedowns, winning grappling exchanges, even scoring takedowns of his own. Now that's growth. Then watch this. Joshua takes Taira's back. He slides one hook in, his left arm slips under the chin, and he grabs his bicep, and he falls back. And he starts tightening the rear naked choke. And for a second, I thought this fight was over. But Taira does something only elite grapplers think to do. He sneaks his hand between Joshua's choking arm and his neck. And that tiny frame keeps the choke from fully locking in. And because Joshua only has one hook secured, Taira creates just enough space to escape. Even without the submission, this sequence tells us something important. Joshua Van isn't just becoming a better striker. He's becoming a complete mixed martial artist.